जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुनातीरावनचारी। यमुनातीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुनातीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 4, Chapter 3, 31. Okay, so it's written a little tightly. I hope you can read it. Tam tavadartam upalabhya jagannivasa स्तोत्रं निशम्य दिविजय सहसंस्तवद्भिः छन्दोमयेन गरुडेन संह्युमान चक्रायुधोऽभ्यगमत् आशु यतो गजेन्द्रः तं तद्वदार्थम् उपलभ्य जगन्निवास. A lot of us are there in the room, so as much as we can try to be chanting in unison, that'd be nice. Some are fast, some are slow. Stotram nishamya divijay sahasam stuvadbhihi chandomayena garudena samuhyamanas चक्रायुधोऽभ्यगमत् आशु यतो गजेन्द्रः. So we'll have one Prabhu and one Mataji recite and then we'll move on. Tam tadvadartam upalabhya jagannivasah Stotram nishamya divija sahasamustavi Chandomayena garudena samhyumanas One ladies please. Tam, unto him, Gajendra, Tadvat, in that way, Artam, who was very depressed because of being attacked by the crocodile, Upalabhya, understanding, Jagat Nivasaha, the Lord who exists everywhere, Stotram, the prayer, Nishamya, hearing, Divijayehi, the denizens of the heavenly planets, Saha, with, Samstuvadbhihi, who were offering their prayers also, Chandomayena, with the speed he desired, Garudena, by Garuda, Samuhyamanaha, being carried, Chakra, carrying his disc, Ayudha, and other weapons, like the club, Abhyagamat, arrived, Ashu, immediately, Yataha, where, Gajendraha, the king of the elephants, Gajendra, was situated. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After understanding the awkward condition of Gajendra, who had offered his prayers, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who lives everywhere, appeared with the demigods who were offering prayers to him. Carrying his disc and other weapons, he appeared there on the back of his carrier Garuda with great speed according to his desire. Thus he appeared before Gajendra. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur specifically hints that since Gajendra was in such a difficult position and was praying for the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demigods, who could have immediately gone to his rescue, hesitated to go there. Since they considered Gajendra's prayer to be directed toward the Lord, they felt offended. And this in itself was offensive. Consequently, when the Lord went there, they also went and offered prayers to the Lord so that their offense might be excused. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I have a question for all of you. Where is the Supreme Lord situated? Everywhere? You sure? In the heart, not everywhere. So it's in the heart, in the lungs, in the stomach, and the ears, and the nose, and the throat, and the large intestine, small intestine. Agreed? Everywhere, no? Heart of every atom. Okay, so then it's even more than that. How many paramatmas, how many atoms do we have in our body? So how many paramatmas are there in there? Too many paramatmas in the body. Do they ever talk to each other and are they confused? Should we do this? No, we should do that. Let's have an Ishtagoshti once a week, discuss and decide. Okay, he's everywhere. Where else is he situated? In the heart. Okay, where else? In Vaikuntha, in Krishna Loka. On the altar. Well, we said everywhere, that's, I guess. So then, if he's in the heart of Gajendra, why is he flying in from somewhere? Boring if you have any action. I like that. What point does he want to prove? Can you speak in the mic? It's like...
Well, I don't know what form came. I'm not too familiar with the pastime, but I think probably he manifested a different form that was different than the Paramatma form in his heart. So maybe it was a more personal form.
No, it says the form right here. Chandomayena Garudena Samuhyamana Chakrayudo Abhyagamat. Chakra Ayudha, with this disc and all other weapons.
Oh, okay, so it's the Vishnu.
Yeah. To show Kaunteya, but he could have come from the heart, no? Because coming out from the heart of Gajendra is shorter distance than flying all the way from Vaikuntha. What if there's traffic jam? Garuda becomes tired, or he doesn't reach at the right moment. Because right there, no, in the heart. Different forms of different purposes. So they have a little algorithm or program that says, in this situation, Hari will come. In this situation, Paramatma will come out of the heart. Anything else? Any other? Ladies, do you have any creative ideas? He was being chomped on by the crocodile, so he had to come in person. Okay.
Is it because he wants to basically uphold what he says, that he comes to protect the devotee? Like he's praying to, Jajendra is praying to, Krishna or Vishnu, and the demigods are seeming like offended by that, thinking that he can directly pray to them. But he's sincerely praying to Krishna. So is it because he's, showing that he prays sincerely, surrender to Krishna, then he personally comes?
Okay, but why can't he come personally from the heart?
Well, because
He's right there.
Oh, like just come out of the heart?
Oh, I don't know what come out of the heart means. Paramatma is there. Paramatma is right there.
Yeah, but if he comes, directly in his form, then the demigods, right?
So Paramatma is also form, no? Isn't Paramatma the heart too? Well, is there a form of the Lord in the heart? What did Dhruva see? He saw the form of the Lord in the heart, no? That was described, and that's what he was meditating on. And yet his eyes were closed. He saw the full, wonderful form of the Lord. And suddenly the form disappeared. He opened his eyes, and he's standing in front of him.
In one sense, Gajendra was praying to the source of Paramatma. So he was praying to the Lord who stands as Paramatma. Sometimes you may be meditating in Paramatma itself, and Paramatma comes. But Gajendra specifically was saying, in many of his prayers, you're the source of Paramatma, you're within the heart, like that. He was going like that.
Okay. I'm going to complicate this even more. Go ahead, one more.
So Paramatma, like within the heart, whatever, it's like it's really little, and not everybody can see it, and then everybody feels
Who's
it.
it?
Paramatma? Every entity, right?
Oh.
Every entity can feel it and stuff, but like not everybody can see it, right? So maybe he showed up there to show everybody like its full form and expansiveness, so then everybody sees it.
Okay, so the question to you is, how big is Paramatma?
Huge, as big as he wants to be. He's bigger than the biggest, right? Smaller than the smallest.
But is in the heart of the tiniest living entity, though.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Well, nice. I like the imagination. That's right. Jai Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. In class, if you can sit separately, because I can't distinguish who's Jordan and who's Nitai Gaur. It's a difficulty for me. Little twins.
I like what Subal Prabhu was saying, that he's reciprocating according to the prayers that were offered. And also, isn't Garuda's with him, right?
Okay. Garuda is not in the heart.
But Garuda comes too. So,
So when he comes out of the heart, he's missing Garuda. Garuda is not here.
Yes, that's the point.
Oh, really? Okay. That's not the case. It sounds nice. I'll now complicate this situation. Not complicate this. When we study scripture, it's nice to think a little deeper than. In the first canto, the scene is Krishna is leaving Hastinapur to go back to Dwaraka. Right? At that scene, or at that moment, someone comes running through the crowds, calling out to Krishna. Who is that? No. Uttara. After that, Kunti. First Uttara. She comes crying, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho, Bhaktanam Abhayankara. And then she says, Yatra Mitru Parasparam. Yatra Mitru Parasparam. I see death everywhere. Krishna, you're the only protector. I'm coming to you. Please help. Why? because Ashwatthama had released the Brahmastra. And you've read in Mahabharata, I hope in Krishna Dharma's Mahabharata or even Bhagavatam, it says that they sipped water before releasing the arrow. Ever read? Okay. These mantras, these weapons, they're not like the huge bombs that our B-2 or B-52 bombers carry, 5-ton bomb that's attached to the wings and whoosh, it drops. Because after 4 bombs, the plane has to return. These weapons are such that they exist in their subtle forms. So Arjuna and all that didn't have to carry all these things with them. They would sip water, chant the mantra, and the weapon would appear. Yeah. They were all subtle energies that they would, by reciting the right mantra, the weapons would appear. So they would sip the water. What's your name? Luis? Say, may such and such weapon attack Bhakta Luis. It may not, but suddenly the next thing is that weapon would show up. That's how they would fight. So Ashwatthama had sipped water and said, Apandava. Apandava means let there not be any Pandavas on this earth anymore. So the Brahmastra was released. In fact, there was Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Uttara, the grandson of Arjuna. And the Brahmastra was going, it was like this missile that knows where its target is. And it was going to attack Parikshit in the womb. And Uttara felt that heat. So she runs to Krishna. And Krishna is standing right in front of her. And he smiles. And we read in the Bhagavatam, the Parikshit who was in the womb, who was about to be charred by the heat of the Brahmastra, suddenly saw the Lord who was the size of a thumb. And his Sudarshan Chakra and the Gada were whirling around him. And he was in the womb looking at the child and protected the child. So then the question is, where did that form of the Lord come from? Is it Krishna who was standing outside, talking to Uttara, said, I'll be back in a moment, vanished from there and showed up in Uttara's womb? Is it the Paramatma? Is he thumb size? It's all the same thing. Wonderful. Thank you. That's the point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that Krishna has to be in one place and not in another. So for Gajendra, when the Lord comes flying on Garuda, it is to increase his ecstasy. It is to reciprocate with the prayer, O my Lord who lives on the other side of the material world. So he has to come flying. And it is a feeling of greater ecstasy that the Lord has come in this sense of desperation to save his devotee. And it's described flying at the speed of his desire. Even that is too slow. How fast he can arrive. And Garuda is fulfilling that. He understands the Lord is in a rush. It is to enhance the relationship, it enhance the pastime, it's to enhance our sense of, oh, I can also call out to the Lord who may be so far away. Actually, he's not far away. He's very close. In the Ishopanishad, the 5th verse, we hear this so-called paradox about the Lord. Tanejati, tannaijati. He walks, but he does not walk. Tad dure, tad antike. He is very far, he is also very, very near. So it's like, well, decide, is it far or is he near? No, he's far and near. Tad antarasya sarvasya, tadu sarvasya bahyaha. That he is inside of everything and everyone, and he's also outside of everything and everyone. So in fact, he's everywhere. He doesn't need to fly on Garuda. When Hiranyakashipu asked, Hiranyakashipu was very foolish. He asked Prahlad Maharaj, where is this Vishnu of yours? And he said, everywhere. What's the next question he asked? Is he in this pillar? What, pillar is not everywhere? Is not part of everywhere? Is he in this pillar? Yeah. And Nrsimhadev came out of the pillar. Nrsimhadev could have come out of the heart of Hiranyakashipu. In fact, Nrsimhadev didn't have him to come out. He could have just given Hiranyakashipu a little heart attack and finished him. Then what is the need for such a dramatic breaking the pillar in this half man, half lion form? Yeah, he could have done it, like the least damage, just given him a heart attack and died there. But the ecstasy, we could have said the pastime. Hiranyakashipu asked, is your Vishnu in the pillar? He banged the pillar, then he had a heart attack and he died. There's no fun in the pastimes. Like, whoa, the Lord enjoys pastimes. So he has to come out of the pillar in a dramatic way. Or Varaha, come out of the nostril of Lord Brahma in a boar form, grow so big. Wow. Because there's enjoyment. To the devotees, it's a relish. Wow, look at that. If you, as we read these verses, he's saying, now word by word, it says, Tam tadvad artham. Artham is, we've been discussing in Bhagavad Gita. Artha means one who's in severe distress. When one is physically in distress, it leads to one becoming mentally distressed. Because the body is not functioning, it affects the mind. So when Prabhupada writes, he was depressed. Now Gajendra is not an ordinary fellow who gets depressed in 10 minutes. He's been fighting for 1,000 years. So that needs a lot of mental strength to fight for 1,000 years. And then he's become depressed. I don't have the strength anymore. And in that depressed condition, he said Jagan Nivasa. Jagan Nivasa means one who exists everywhere. He says Stotram Nishamya Divija. He's talking about all the demigods appeared along with him. But how did the Lord appear? Chandomayena Garudena. Chandomayena is at the speed he desired. And Garudena, on the back of Garuda, at a speed of his desire. Garuda can flap his wings very, very hard. And Samuhyamana. Samuhyamana is being carried by Garuda. So Garuda can fly at the speed of Vishnu's desire. That is what a servant is. A trusted servant of Krishna is Garuda. We never see Garuda inside the temple. Always Garuda is usually outside the temple. And he's in a particular posture. He's not sitting like what we call Sukhasan or Padmasan. He's sitting in a particular pose, posture. That's the takeoff position. Because if he's sitting in Sukhasan or Padmasan, both the feet like this, and Vishnu says, let's go. 1 minute. My knees are hurting. Garuda is ready. As soon as the Lord says, let's go, he's already flapping his wings because he's in such a posture, always ready. Hanuman and Garuda are always in ready position. As soon as the Lord says, let's go. So Samuhyamana, Chakrayudha, carrying all his weapons. Abhyagamad Ashu, very, very quickly. Yato Gajendra. Wherever Gajendra was, the Lord appeared immediately. So this is not only Gajendra's plea, oh my Lord, I need your protection. It also shows Krishna's eagerness. If Krishna were not eager, he would have said, take an appointment, Gajendra. We'll meet you when my calendar is open. Because a lot of devotees to save. Sorry if you're waiting list. Very eager to save his devotee. Very, very eager. And so he appeared immediately. This is the loving reciprocity. The devotee is in distress and he's calling the Lord, and the Lord is very eager to come. Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj, he was here, I think, last year, and he'll be here in a few weeks. He was describing that the spiritual master is the form of the Lord's compassion. So the embodiment of the Lord's compassion takes the form of the spiritual master. And it's described that, he was narrating this story, that there was a person who was in distress and he was calling out to the Lord, "Oh Krishna, oh Vishnu, please help me." The Lord was not necessarily responding so quickly. And then one day, Lakshmi Devi was serving lunch for the Lord. So he had sat down to eat. And once you're sitting down to eat, the last thing you want is any disturbance. Because eating is such a wonderful event. We don't want to be disturbed at that time. People don't like to take phone calls, no conversations. It's nice to eat. You've seen pictures of Prabhupada when he would eat. There's a picture of Prabhupada just by himself, silently, quietly eating. There's a beautiful picture the BBT archives have of Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja day. This was done in London. And the picture is of Prabhupada sitting in front of a window, looking out of the window. It's a big, massive, that picture? And there's all different preparations in front of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada sitting and tasting everything with these 3 fingers. It's a very beautiful picture. Anyway, Prabhupada always liked to eat quietly and no one. So when Lakshmi Devi was serving and he was eating quietly, suddenly the Lord dropped everything he was eating and ran. And he ran in such haste that he forgot to take his upper cloth, Uttariya also. So Lakshmi Devi asked, "What's the rush?" He said, "That devotee is calling his spiritual master for help. I have to go immediately." So then Lakshmi asked, "There was another devotee who was calling you." He said, "Yeah, he was calling me. It takes time. But as soon as he says, 'Hey, spiritual master, please help me,' then I'm in very special rush, because that's the compassionate side of me, the aspect of compassion that is being called upon specifically." So here Gajendra is calling out, of course, to the Lord, and he's come. He's come listening to his prayers. Now the purport has a very interesting twist on it. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is describing that when Gajendra called out, actually when this pastime began, we were discussing that when Gajendra called out, it was not clear who he was calling out to. He doesn't specifically say, "Oh Vishnu." He just says, "Oh, that Supreme Personality." And none of the demigods went to help. He's not calling us, he's calling Vishnu, because I'm not the Supreme. Are you? No. Are you? They discuss, "Well, we're not the Supreme." He's calling out to Vishnu. And so none of them went, and they were offended that why Gajendra is not calling me. And because of that not coming out to help someone in distress, because they were not called. So if you're walking on the street and someone is in distress and they're calling to someone, and we may say, "Oh, they're not asking for me." So this says that was an offensive mentality. So when the Lord himself was rushing, they could have gone on behalf of the Lord. That was the point here. But they didn't go on behalf of the Lord because they were a little proud. "Oh, he was not calling me. It's not my service, Prabhu. was that mentality. So then the Lord personally had to come. And then the demigods felt, oh, we made a mistake. So when the Lord is flying on Garuda's back at the speed of his desire, the demigods are offering prayers. Oh, fantastic Lord, please forgive us, we should have gone. And so they all came to the scene. So their offense might be excused. Vishwanath Prabhupada writing about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's. It happens. We were supposed to do something, we didn't do. Then whoever is our, I guess, superior, or whatever is our supervisor, they have to do it. They say, I'm sorry. I remember this situation once. We were in a yatra, and yatra time in Vrindavan, so or everyone's like in this happy mode. We meet all the other devotees from different places, and sometimes our hands and legs don't move as fast as we would like them to move, or just we're in a partly vacation mode. Yatra is also vacation mode, and because there's so much of moving around, not enough sleep. So I remember once that this was in Srinivas Acharya's birthplace. So there was a beautiful place, and breakfast had just arrived on a truck, and on these big containers, because we were about 400 or 500 of us. And everyone saw the truck. Everyone was happy to see the prasadam. There were only 2 volunteers who had to unload the truck. So all of us were nicely, prasadam is here, And no one moved to do anything. My spiritual master, he was sitting somewhere, he got up, swiftly ran, picked up those containers with the devotees and started unloading. And that's when we were like, oh, sorry Maharaj. We were supposed to do it too. But we were waiting, not my service Prabhu, right? So when he arrived, ran through, suddenly it occurred to us, oh yeah, we should also do this. That's the apologetic, regretful moment. The demigods are also feeling like that, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. They could have gone to help, but they were proud. Oh, he's not calling us, he's calling the Lord when Vishnu comes. So that is being addressed as well. Okay, any questions, comments, thoughts? I released an arrow on Bhakta Louis, so he gets the first opportunity to ask a question. Are you Bhakta Louis? Are you Bhakta Louis? I released an arrow at him, so I have to seek forgiveness.
My question is, you said the size of the tip of the thumb, right? And is it like a normal thumb, or does it have like an exact size which resembles like the tip of the thumb?
Is it any thumb? Pick any thumb.
Any thumb, and it's that thumb.
What's the size of the Paramatma? There's no size of Paramatma.
Oh, okay. So, thank you so much.
What's the size of the soul?
That made it really clear. Thank you.
It's described size of the thumb only for our material understanding, because we all can only understand the time-space dimensions. If it said that the Paramatma appeared in a very tiny form, okay, tiny, what does that mean? So it says the size of a thumb, just to give us the sense that within the womb, the child, the embryo, Parikshit is seeing the Lord in the small form coming to help him. So it's not like this size, that's some big thumb. The orangutan or the ape is like, King Kong has a very big thumb, meaning a small size. Jai Baldev. Thank you.
Mr. Prabhu, thank you for your class. The thing I appreciate about in this word-for-word translation that Prabhupada mentioned that Gajendra was depressed.
Depressed.
And I kind of appreciated that because I realized that if he had defeated the crocodile, then that would increase his false ego.
The crocodile would have been depressed.
Huh?
The crocodile would have prayed
Exactly.
to Krishna. Oh,
Exactly.
Mr. Who would have prayed to Krishna.
So I appreciate that part because we hear in the Bhagavatam that our real enemies are our mind and senses, and we see in every aspect of life, in sports, in debates, whatever. If you defeat your enemy, then you get some recognition. Whereas if you defeat your real enemies, like if you told someone, I haven't looked at porno for like a month. You tell somebody that, they're like, who cares? You're not going to get recognized for that, but you get recognition from Krishna. So similarly, apologizing to others, respecting others, tolerating others, we see that these directly defeat our false ego. And so my question is basically, what can we do to be enthusiastic to defeat our real enemies before Krishna body slams us from offenses?
Well, somehow or the other, Krishna wants us to learn. Either we learn on our own by hearing, or then Krishna will teach us by enrolling us in the school of hard knocks. So it's this way or that way. Preferable that we learn the other way. And that comes from hearing and a proper sadhana bhakti. As soon as we recognize, I've always heard and appreciated that as soon as there is some semblance of problems in our life, the first thing to do is to go back to the basics. As our basic hearing and chanting, all right, are we studying Prabhupada's books? When we work on the basics, everything else around gets fixed. The tendency is to fix this and fix that, but it said that we first fix the basics. And so it depends on our enthusiasm. How to stay enthusiastic? The only process is association and hearing. That feeds our enthusiasm. Mikey. Oh, Jordan's there.
I'll try to word. I don't have it exactly worded yet, but
Okay.
it's about your point of when Maharaj went and grabbed the prasadam, and also it seems like a lot of my troubles come from like trying to take up devotional service the way I think I should, like doing things, I think it should be like this or like that, instead of being submissive to like authority or like advisors and things like that, just accepting that instead of following like, I think prasadam is also service, I should just take prasadam instead of being that one that goes out right away and does the service at hand. So I'm wondering, I'm not sure exactly how my question is.
Is the
for it,
question...
but do we really have a choice of like, yeah, that's my question. It's like,
is there room for initiative, my own initiative, or am I supposed to be in devotional life an automaton that I'm told, turn left, turn right, now do this, now do that? Am I a robot?
Or more so, like, do we even pretty much Krishna gives us the service based on our advisors give us service, and we just basically carry it out. Like, we get some guidance, and like Krishna arranges this. So, do we have any choice? Like,
absolutely. Krishna consciousness is full of choice. What we're choosing is that what's important. When we come to Krishna, the first order of business is we are choosing to repose our free will to Krishna's desire. That's what we're choosing. And to learn that is not easy. So the spiritual master teaches us how to repose our free will to Krishna's whim, if you like. Krishna is whimsical. Krishna can be very whimsical. No? Agree? Extremely whimsical. The word whimsical for us has a very different connotation, right? It seems like, oh man, he can't decide, he's mentally uncontrolled, his senses are uncontrolled, so whimsical. Not in that kind of whim. But Krishna is whimsical, he can just decide anything that he wants. The actual word is swarat, supremely independent. He can choose to do as he likes. Here are some things, right? He walks with his friends. He comes to Mathura, looks at the washerman. They have all these wonderful clothes, and he says, we want all those clothes. Or he comes to whether the Brahmins are organizing their fire yagya. He says, oh, I want all the offerings. He's supremely independent. He can choose whatever he likes. So and in both those pastimes, just those two, there are many others. Recently I was narrating, Krishna showed up at Indra's backyard and said, I want the tree, the Parijata tree. Not only can I take a few flowers, can I take the whole tree away? He can do anything. So our preparation of Krishna consciousness is to be ready for whatever Krishna's whim might be. And that is the choice we're making. Now, while all that is happening, is there room for individual initiative? Sure, because Krishna can inspire within one's heart a particular way of serving him. That's possible. It's possible with maturity. And when we're still young, what is it that pleases Krishna is something we have to learn. So our initiative may be what is pleasing to us. And to learn what is it that's pleasing to Krishna takes time. And that's something we have to be taught. And so it feels a little, I want to do that, but I must do this or do that. So ultimately our choosing is, okay, that whatever pleases Krishna, I'll do so. Even Yudhishthira had a difficulty, so we don't have to feel too bad about it. Yudhishthira was asked, speak a lie. And he's the guy who said, hey, I'm known all over the world as the person who is the most truthful. Yeah, that's why we want you to speak a lie. Because when you speak it, everyone will accept it as truth. If Arjun or Bhima, Nakul, Sahadev would have lied, they were like, we have a doubt. This guy, not sure. But if when you speak Yudhishthira, no one will doubt it. Oh, no, I can't speak a lie. Or in the Bhagavad Gita, the whole problem that Arjuna is facing, and Prabhupada writes, is that Arjuna wants to be a good fellow. And Krishna is telling him, I don't care whether you want to be a good fellow or a bad fellow. You just do what I'm asking you to do. Yeah, but how can I do it? So yes, there is room for individual initiative. No problem. Yes, there is. With maturity, yes. Is that fair enough? Okay. Mikey?
I guess I have two questions. The first one's a clarification. I've heard that from different devotees that there's like many different Paramatmas in like every single atom. And then I've heard this other example that someone gave is like, there's only one Paramatma, but it's kind of like a diamond where it's like, it looks like there's many, but there's only one. So like, what do you think would be a more accurate understanding of Paramatma?
It says, Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. That he is within the universe and he's within every atom. But he's within every atom doesn't mean there are multiple Paramatmas. They look at each other and say, Haribol. So the example given in the Shastras is, there's only one sun, but if you have many pots of oil or water, on all the pots you see the sun reflecting. So it looks like there are as many pots, as many suns. But how many suns? One sun.
And my other question was...
Now the interesting part is, hold on, now to make it even more, I guess, complicated, if you will. That same Paramatma can inspire you in one way and me in the very opposite way simultaneously. So it feels like, there are two Paramatmas. I don't know what your Paramatma is saying. My Paramatma is saying I should do this. It's the same Paramatma.
That actually kind of leads into my second question.
Okay.
Because I was wondering, like, when we're getting inspired in Krishna consciousness, like how is it, like I know that like whatever way this question would be answered, we should always meditate on Krishna guiding us through our lives. Well, how do we know when it's like, is there a difference between Paramatma guiding us or Krishna, or is it kind of the same thing? Or is there a point where it's like, Krishna like says, hey Paramatma, you know, I'm going to take over here. You know what I mean? Like, is there some kind of transformation in the guidance between, you know, like does like Krishna come into the heart at some point where it's like, okay Paramatma, I'm going to take over? Or is it like the same kind of guidance? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it
I
like
like the way you think. So here's what it is. Prabhupada was asked, what's the difference between Krishna and Vishnu? And Prabhupada said, when Krishna goes to the office, is Vishnu. In the office, you have certain function. So the function of Vishnu is creation, maintenance, and annihilation. It's not a different person, it's a feature. So as long as the Paramatma guiding, because there's distinction made in chapter 9, where that famous verse is, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshu stinapriyaha. You heard that verse? Krishna says, I'm equal to all, I don't favor anyone, I don't hate anyone. That's the first two lines. And the second two lines, he says, Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. But one who approaches me in love, I am in them and they are in me. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes this distinction that the first two lines are spoken by Paramatma and the second two lines are spoken by Krishna. So it's not like in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna took over and said, Paramatma, don't finish the sentence, I'll finish it for you. What it means is that the Paramatma is there as the neutral, detached overseer for all living entities. And he is not driven by prejudice or, affection because this guy's nose is nice, this guy's hair color looks good, this guy's good looking, that woman's nice, this is a pig, I don't really need to inspire them too much. It's not like that. Very neutral. According to their karma, he responds. So if they're in the mode of ignorance, and their inspiration comes through the mode of ignorance. So you find someone having these ideas of destroying something. It's inspired by Paramatma, according to their disposition of consciousness. As one becomes a devotee of Krishna, then it says that from that neutral position, Krishna is now personally guiding their lives. He's now involved. It's the same person. Now the function is whether they're neutral or they're involved in their lives. And that depends upon loving relationship or to the intensity of that loving relationship. So Krishna stops being I'm the judge, the neutral to, hey, I'm involved in your life, like that. Is that okay? All right, thank you. Anything else, ladies? Subal.
Was trying to understand the offense of the demigods. Obviously, it is said that they took offense from Gajendra. They felt that, maybe, why Gajendra didn't call me? I'm pretty much capable to do it.
Yeah.
However, in one sense, Gajendra was not only asking for help get the crocodile off my leg, but he was also asking at one point to, release me from this mortal, from this material world. And so from the perspective of ourselves, in terms of, making discrimination, of something that maybe call upon, we may have an idea that, I can do that, why, you have to call such and such, GBC or spiritual master or temple authority or things like that, and it may be completely off our capacity, although, some pride may be involved. So, there's certain discrimination that when we have to jump into action, I'm the obvious example that you put, that I don't need, great, philosophical capacity to inspire Krishna consciousness in someone just to take, some boxes out of the truck. But, type of thing, there's other situations that may not, call for, we may stand at the side, just like, waiting for.
So I have three things to say. So let's say, I'm trying to make this humorous. So let's say one of us is in some difficulty. And we pray to Krishna. Oh, Kishori, please help me. And suppose Ganesha comes to help us. Ganesh. Are we going to say, not you? And we discussed with the devotees, I was in distress, I called for Krishna, man, Ganesha came to help us. Like, no, you accept it as on behalf of Krishna, he showed up, Ganesha showed up. Why Ganesha showed up? We don't know, let's say. But we're not going to say to Ganesha, no, I don't want your help. Kishori only. Krishna can inspire anyone to help. Or, we're somewhere let's bring it down. Instead of I'm not so great that Ganesha will come to help. But someone on the street might help. We don't say to them, I don't need your help. Krishna will come. We say, that was Krishna's emissary at that point in time. So the demigods could have come. He could have sent them too. He could have come. However, how I'm understanding here is, now there are certain things that now back to there are certain things we know we can do. And certain things we know is way beyond our capacity. So for example, to unload prasadam from the truck, we don't need some special Krishna conscious power that we look at the truck and the things just unload on their own or something. So we know we can do it. Someone may come to us and say, I want to surrender my life to Krishna. Can you give me initiation? Oh, hold on a second. This is outside my capacity. I don't have. This is not me. You have to approach someone who can do that. So for saving Gajendra to kill a crocodile, it's not like the demigods are helpless, so we don't know how to kill a crocodile. Of course, it's within the grander scheme of the pastime. Both Gajendra and Huhu were cursed, and that the relief was that they will see Vishnu. So which side is really true and how is this? It's in the grander scheme. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving us a little hint into the demigods could have done it. They didn't do it. Now what's important is not so much that even the small things I can do. It's the real inspiration is, am I doing it on behalf of Krishna? Am I doing it in the spirit of service to Krishna? And the hint here is that the demigods did not see themselves at that moment as the servants. And they thought, if you didn't call me, I'm not coming. But I could have gone as the demigod. They could have come saying, oh, he's calling for Vishnu, our master. As servants of Vishnu, we're coming. In Ajamila's case, when he said Narayan, Narayan, Vishnu Duta showed up. The Lord didn't show up. And that was great. He saw them. So it's that mood of service on behalf of was missing. That's how I understood. Okay, we're going to end this. It's 8:40. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.